Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back. This is the preview ahead of Burnley against Manchester United at Turf Moor tonight. And a win for Manchester United will put us 3 points clear at the top of the Premier League. An incredible turnaround for Manchester United in this campaign and also over the last 12 months as well. If we cast our minds back to January 2020, you would have seen Manchester United lose against Burnley, lose against Liverpool, and be in a position where many thought Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would soon be sacked. Bruno Fernandes arrived, and then Manchester United went on an incredible run. A run that has seen our form match up with Liverpool and Manchester City. We've been amongst the top 3 teams in the league, and we've been consistent over the last 12 months domestically. Now, obviously, as we go ahead towards this week, it's a massive week for Manchester United and a massive week for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. Obviously, regardless of what happens, it's clear that he's improved Manchester United and taken us forward from when he arrived at the club and replaced Jose Mourinho. The team feels better. You feel much better watching the games. Obviously, the results have been better, especially domestically. Obviously, Jose Mourinho brought in a couple of trophies. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a couple of black marks on his name when you look at the fact that, knocked out of the Champions League this year, knocked out at another semi-final, 4 semi-finals in a row. You can look at that and say, well, we need to improve there and we need to improve there. And you'd be right to say that. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has it all to prove. But this week could be massive for him. If United were to win both of these games, it would send a different message to the Premier League, but also it would send a message to some of his critics, to the board at Manchester United, that maybe, just maybe, they have got the right man. When you're sitting 6 points clear at the top of the Premier League halfway through a season, it'd be strong validation of what the manager is currently doing, although it wouldn't be the be-all and end-all. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got it all to prove throughout now to the end of the season, and of course going forward as well at Manchester United. Whilst he has improved us, there has been many ups and downs. Now, can we get consistency? Can we keep it going? Obviously, we had a domestic defeat in the cup last week against Manchester City. But since that defeat against Arsenal, our league form has been great. Now, obviously, you expect the odd bad result. But can we keep this good form going? Can we have a massive week? Can we get potentially 2 wins out of 2? Or even 4 points out of 6, which would see us top of the league. We'll be looking ahead towards that game against Burnley, and we'll also be getting my predicted 11, your thoughts on the game, and everything else as well. Massive game tonight. I am absolutely shitting myself. And today, I will be on the Stretford Paddock watch along, so make sure you're with us for that. We've got loads coming up on Stretford Paddock throughout the day. So make sure you're there for that. I am very nervous. Look, my stomach's going already. And obviously I'll get more nervous as the game comes close. Complete contrast to, watching that game against Watford where, it wasn't vintage. It wasn't comfortable. And at 1-0, anything can happen. But it was just good to chill and watch a game where you didn't really feel like, oh, we're going to get fucked here. Or, this is all. It was just nice and relaxed. In the league, with everything so, as it is at the top, so close. A couple of bad results and you could be 5th, 6th. A couple of good results and we could be clear at the top. The league can change around so quickly. We've just got to keep it going, man. We've just got to keep it going. That is for sure. So we'll have my predicted team very soon. We'll have all the latest news as well ahead of this game tonight. And obviously on paper, Manchester United should be going and beating Burnley. Their form hasn't been great this season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had an interview ahead of this game and he's been speaking about obviously the next game, and he said he's been speaking about Eric Bailly. And he said Eric Bailly, he's been on the grass, he didn't do everything, but he's done some light training, and luckily there was no concussion, as we said. It was more of a real bad knock with Dean's knee hitting him. So positive news. So Eric Bailly should be available for tonight's game. And he said on the squad, obviously we had Luke Shaw, Victor Lindelof, Paul Pogba, who were injuries against Watford. And he said Luke and Victor both trained fully, and Paul as well was out there. He didn't do everything, but he is more or less also ready. So a good, clean bill of health. We've also got Cavani back from suspension as well. And he says it will be very important for us and instrumental with his experience and his goals and his threat in the box. For us, we almost look at this Burnley game now as the start of the season. Everyone is more or less fit. We've built our way up to good fitness, bounced back after the disappointment of last week's semi-final, and beat Watford with players who haven't played for a while. Now everyone is mentally and physically ready for the rest of the season. And when you look at the amount of changes we've been able to make in between some games, and obviously constantly changing your team isn't ideal. You know, changing your team every single game, that's not something that you want to see. You don't want to see that happening in league games particularly. But being able to make wholesale changes in some games, especially when the games are coming so thick and fast, 2 days between games. If you're then able to say, right, for example with that Watford game is for my second string. So that means most of your first 11 players that are involved usually are going to get that night off. So their games, really, they have 5 days break in between their games. Now, I know in that Watford game, we brought on Marcus Rashford towards the end. Harry Maguire had to come on because of Eric Bailly's injury. But we rested a lot of players in that game, which was good to see as well. So, you know, the fact that we're able to change things up now. I mean, you're looking at our squad and we got Alex Telles, Donny van der Beek, you know, Edinson Cavani on the bench. Our bench is looking pretty decent at the moment. And having that strength in depth is important for Manchester United as well. And it gives you more confidence going into all these games that you'll be able to get a result when you're able to chop and change your team as we can do. So that squad's massively important for United. We're looking at some other teams, and especially like, you know, we're hoping to be involved in a title race with Liverpool. We've got them in the cup as well. And when you look at Liverpool, then they've done it for 2 years and it's worked for them massively, you know, winning the league and winning the European Cup. But they play a lot of the same players over and over again. And that will take its toll over the course of the season. So I'm hoping, because Ali has been able to, you know, make 8 changes here, 9 changes there, 8 changes here for some games, that will have a big positive impact towards the back end of the season when other teams are maybe tiring or getting injuries or things like that. And if you look at United, we've had the odd 1 or 2 injuries, but we haven't had wholesale injuries. Touch wood. So positive things for Man United. And that will be massive towards the end of the season. Anyway, let's have a look at my predicted 11. Here it is. This is my predicted or preferred 11. I don't know what you want to call it. But I have gone with David De Gea in goal. I think that's a no-brainer. I think David De Gea will be returning to the team. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Eric Bailly, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw. If Eric Bailly's fit, play him. I think with Burnley, a lot of their threats going to come from set pieces, come from aerially, come from big physical strikers, Chris Wood, etc. I think Eric Bailly is more well suited to dealing with them. I also wouldn't be surprised to see us go with a diamond or in the back three centre halves. You play Bailly and Twanzebe, but I think this is more or less what we will go with there. Pogba and Matic have gone with in midfield. Obviously, I think Fred and McTominay will be used at Anfield, and I think, you know, Matic and Pogba, tall, physical, strong. You know, Burnley aren't the quickest team, so we don't really have to worry about the pace against Matic. You can sit in between Maguire and Bailly, allow Shaw and Wan-Bissaka to get forward, and you've got enough attackers there. You could potentially play a 4-3-3 with Matic sitting and Pogba and Bruno as 8s as well. And then Martial on the left, Rashford on the right, Cavani through the middle. A lot of people get concerned, Martial isn't through the middle, isn't it? But Cavani moves left, moves right, he moves all over the place. And we will see Martial pop up on the right, pop up on the left, pop up through the middle, Rashford the same, Cavani the same. And I think having that movement, having that flexibility, that fluidity, can cause problems for teams. And I think when I think of Ronaldo, Tevez, Rooney, etc., they were all interchanging spaces, all moving around the pitch. I think it's a good thing to have when players are free to move. And you know, Cavani and Bruno, sorry, Cavani and Martial are very different nines in the way that they play. Cavani's always on the move. Martial gives you someone that you can work off. You can knock the ball into him, look for the short pass back off him, or get the ball into his feet. Hopefully, make him spin. They're both very, very different, and they'll bring something different. If you've got 2 or 3 centre halves and you're dealing with a Cavani who's constantly moving, and then a Martial who's coming to feet or coming for the ball to his chest, spinning, turning around, and you got the Cavani moving and the Rashford moving, it's going to cause problems for teams. It's going to cause problems. So that is the 11 that I would go with in this game. That 11, Cavani, Martial, Rashford, Bruno, Pogba, Matic, Shaw, Maguire, Bailly, Wan-Bissaka, and David De Gea in goal. There's been a lot of conversation about Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I think he has been a good player for us. Obviously, I think he can improve in certain areas. But I think you've got to be fair to him as well in that he hasn't really had a consistent player in front of him. Someone that he can build a relationship, someone that he can build up an understanding with. He hasn't had that, so you know, I think you have to give that in as well, consideration. Daniel says, what about giving Donny a start instead of Pogba? Pogba's obviously reported to have a little knock as well. So if Pogba isn't available, then I'd go with him. But you know, Donny van der Beek hasn't played a whole host of football, and he's just played 90 minutes. Is he going to be able to? I'm sure he could, but you know, is that what Ollie's going to look to do? I don't know. And this is my predicted 11, and I think he'll go with the players that can deal with that physical threat. Bailly, Matic, Pogba being some of those guys. Obviously, Maguire will start anyway. So that's my predicted 11 for this one. So nervous, man. We need to do this. If we do this, and then oh my god, going into that game next week's going to be, it's going to crank that up even more. Shit. This watch along later is going to be a mess. It's going to be a mess. ARW says, is Cavani back? Cavani is back, yes. Easy win today for the boys, says Mark. Mark's feeling very, very confident. Donny instead of Matic, says Michael. I can see Ollie playing those two in mid for the aerial threat, says Adam. Yeah, that's why I've kind of gone with that team as well. I think to counter what Burnley can give us and their biggest threats. So that's what I've gone with there. Need to beat bloody Burnley, says Malps. Adnan's confident we'll smash Liverpool. We've got Liverpool in the cup now, which is interesting. Can we knock them out the cup and give them a little bit of a smash in the title race as well in the same week? That'd be a little bit of a dream, wouldn't it? Hopefully it don't go the other way, because that would be a nightmare. We can do it, lads, says Rebecca. Wish Bailly is fine. Him and Twanzebe, I'd be confident with that, says Kassan. Come on, United, says Joachim. Doesn't matter if you go top with Liverpool, put 4 past you at Anfield, says Mitchell. That is not going to be happening. We probably look more likely to put 4 past Liverpool. Wish you played Twanzebe more, says Adam. I've been happy with that way. You know what Ollie's done, and I think it's fair. He's done it with Bailly. He's done it with Twanzebe. And he's done it with a few other players. And he's given them a chance. But he hasn't rushed them. And I feel a lot of the time when... And this... Look, you can take it as a criticism of Mourinho if you want or not. It might be, I don't know. I'm not meaning to criticise him, I'm just saying it how it is. But under Mourinho and under other teams, yeah. Under other managers, when we were giving someone like a Bailly a chance, and it was drummed up in the press and by the manager as he can't be getting in, like, he can't be getting injured, he has to be, like, you know, I need this guy to, like, you start fucking, maybe mentally, they go, and I think Ollie's allowed them to be a little bit more relaxed, build themselves up, come back slowly, take their time, gradually, and without being a pre-season this season, the last players you want to be pushing to the limit are the likes of Bailly, Twanzebe, players that have broken down. So I get what Ollie's doing in terms of just bringing them in slowly. K-Show, thank you for subscribing. MCH7, thank you for getting involved. I appreciate you. We got loads of people in the house right now. ARW saying Ollie's Showtime's Reds. Adam saying what a week for football. Twitter. Jumal is in the comments as well. Clearim says love you on the kickoff. Thank you very much. We're back on the kickoff for the Liverpool versus Manchester United game. Could Ollie go for a back three against Liverpool, says James. We'll look at that later. Score prediction, says Rebecca. We'll be talking about score predictions soon. Energy, says Joe. Simon's in the comments. Sandeep, Adnan, Arthur, Vishal, Michael. Sean thinks it's going to be 1-0 and simply says energy. Get hitting that like button, get commenting, get sharing, get subscribing, get keeping it locked to AdamMcKola TV. We're obviously on the watch along with Stretford Paddock later on today. We will have reaction fan cams on Stretford Paddock. Then we will also have reaction, a little stream, a little aftermath over here. P Savage is in the house. We saw Tiz up there earlier as well, in the house as well. Shout out Tiff getting involved. It's been a while. Who's ready to dress for 90? Just subbed, says Ryan. Thank you very much for subscribing, Ryan. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Anyway, my prediction for tonight. Burnley 0. Manchester United 3. We're going 3 points clear at the top of the league, lads. Ladies and gentlemen. It's happening. I fucking hope so, man. I really hope so. Don't fuck this up, United. Please don't fuck this up. It's been so long since we've been involved in a title race. I can't remember the last time that we went 3 points clear at the top of the league. And just even if, you know, we go 3 points clear at the top and then, you know, it doesn't, just give me a little bit of hope. All I need is a little bit of hope. Come on. Come on. Do this today, lads. Don't fuck this up. Do not fuck this up. Fucking come on, United. Anyway, guys, we'll be back later on when I'll either be in tears or I'll be drinking beers. Something like that. Anyway, make sure you're joining us. Keep it locked. Like, comment, share, subscribe. 21 is coming.